Hey, I got to admit, I really don't like this background. This idea that these cracks appeared here. I think there's too much disturbing the design going on. And so click on the texture itself. Now I showed you to change the opacity. That changes the intensity of what's there, right? So I'm going to crank this up to 100, which doesn't make any sense because now I see even more of it. But then I'm going to click on a curves layer. Now I'm on the texture layer. I'm going to throw another curve on this. And you see the histogram. This is the distribution of these colors, pure white, pure black. And there is no pure white up to this point. It starts with a light gray. But anyway, this is what I want you to know. Now, right now, this curves layer is affecting everything below it. I don't want to affect everything below it. I just want to affect the layer directly below. So what I do on this curves layer is only going to affect that texture. Now, what happens if I grab that center point? What happens if I move down? Well, it makes it darker. It kind of makes our problem even worse. What happens if I drag it up? Well, it's taking out some of those distracting elements, and we're getting the cracks themselves. Now, what happens if I drag this corner in and this corner in? Just to see what happens. Now we start to see a lot of those distracting elements start to disappear, and we just have those cracks. Now, you can keep playing with this, but now, better or worse? We've got our attention focused back in on our title and our elements. It's much easier to read down here. And we still have these cracks, which are subtle like these cracks. And now it's not so distracting. And this idea that you can make an adjustment layer that just affects what's directly below it, that is handled on any of these, any and all of these, by this little guy here. And you can also, if that's confusing, you just want, hey, I want, oh, let me throw that hue and saturation layer away that I just added. If I hold down, see the finger over here that I'm moving up and down the layers? Now if I position that finger in between these two and hold down Option, I get that same symbol where now it affects everything in the poster. Now it just affects the layer below it. So you can also do this by holding down Option. A little better, and another trick for your arsenal, your creative arsenal. Remember these, practice these, try it out on your design, see what happens. And now back on this texture, should I lower the opacity? Does that help? You know, what does that do to my design? How does that help it become more engaging? All right, so that, you can see the before. If you rewind, well, here we go, boom. And I'd have to crank that opacity up, but you get the difference, right? Have some fun today.